Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John R., and today I'm joined by Professor Jennifer Monroe of Jen Monroe Studios in Carlsbad, California. Thanks for coming back, Jen.
Thanks for having me, John.
Your riveting video was riveting.
Oh, thank you.
We had so many good responses from our viewers, and they really appreciated the information that you gave them. So what have you got for us today?
So today I'm going to show you the mechanics of fabricating a single gallery setting. And here's a sample of a disc and a dome disc in a single gallery.
Okay, so in other words, we can set either a flat or curved cabochon in this type of mounting?
Exactly, you can do a stone or a disc.
Okay, great. And what exactly would we use this for?
So you could use that for a pendant, for earrings, bracelets, actually pretty much anything.
So we're making a setting that has multiple
uses.
Okay, just depending on how you set it up. Great. So what kind of tools are we going to need?
So this is an intermediate kind of step out.
Okay.
So you should already know how to solder and make a ring.
Okay, well, we have videos on ring making and bench basics, so I think they're ready to move up to being intermediate or advanced students.
Okay, super. So in addition to having your basic tools, make sure you have a ring clamp, you have calipers, always have a Sharpie, and I like to use a soft brick for when we solder prongs on.
Where did you get this soft brick?
I actually got this from a ceramics kiln shop. It's the inside bricks for a kiln.
Ah, so it's an insulating brick. Okay.
Yes, insulate.
Okay.
Double stick tape, and we have a polar radial graph.
And let me just jump in. For our viewers, you can go on the internet and you can download a PDF where you can actually set up your own polar graph paper with as many rays as you want, and you can make the circles as big or as small as you want. Yeah, these are really useful. I love them.
Yes, you really need them to be accurate for setting the placement of your prongs.
Okay.
And then you need to have a needle, round file, and then your wire. And I have like around a 16 gauge and then an 18 gauge, a foot of each, and then your stone that you're going to be working with.
Okay, so for our viewers, to be clear, on the wire, the base should be a larger wire, correct?
Yes, it should be larger for the base.
And that could be anything from, depending on how large you're making this mounting, from a 10 gauge wire to up into maybe like an 18 gauge wire. And the wire for the prong, depending on the size of your base, you should complement it with something
Thinner.
Right.
Usually thinner. Unless you want to go for a chunky look, you could do all the same gauge. And you can also do a square wire, a round wire, or rectangle wire. And you'll see some of that here.
Okay, great. So what are the steps that we need to take?
Okay, so first step is you're going to start by making your ring base after we measure the stone.
Okay, so you've measured the stone, and I know that you have your little calculation right here. I'll put it on top of that.
And so you're going to measure your stone with your calipers, which was 14 millimeters.
Okay.
And then you're going to do it times pi to get the length of the wire.
So pi being 3.14. Okay, so this is ring making, and normally when we make a ring, we add a little bit of length to that wire to compensate for the curvature.
Exactly.
So should we be doing that here too?
Yes, you should. It's just like making a ring, and you usually add about 3 times the metal thickness. So whatever the metal thickness is, about 3 times for making your ring.
Okay,
The
great.
base, okay?
Okay, so we've determined the length of our wire based on the measurement of the stone. Then what's next?
And then you'll shape it and
Okay.
make it into a ring. And then once you make it into the ring, what's really important with the single gallery setting or any gallery setting is marking the prongs, which we're going to use.
And can I just step in?
Yes.
In case you guys didn't notice, look, she rounded it. So you rounded it just like you would the ring. And I'm sure you could use either a ring mandrel
Or a bezel.
Absolutely. Okay,
And we're starting with round because round is the easiest to go with.
I agree.
So I have some double stick tape because I'm going to mark the orientation for where the prongs are going to be. I set this on my graph, so when I go to mark my orientation, my piece doesn't slide around.
Okay.
And then I actually mark it with the file, the orientations, and you're going to do north, south, east, and west,
Okay.
your 4 prongs. So I'm going to mark this also.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're basically doing the cardinal points in order to get the proper placement of the prongs.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, if you guys can't do this on the graph paper, another trick is you could actually drop that circle or that round loop into the hole of a template, a circle template, and do the same thing. But you got to make sure that you don't let that ring move while you mark it. So the double stick tape is a great idea.
Yeah, it's really great. It's really handy to have. So I'm going to mark it with a file, because if I mark with a Sharpie, sometimes the Sharpie is a little bit thick or it's not real accurate, and I mark the top of the base.
The top of the base.
Yes,
Okay, so
and
you're just making a little notch.
A little, yeah. For my orientation.
Okay.
So I'll do that, and then in the base, I'm actually going to make the cradles for the prong.
Okay.
And so I will file into the notches the thickness of the prongs. And the prong length I usually make is at least the length, the diameter of
Okay. So,
ring.
so in other words, if I'm understanding right, we want to cut the stock wire for the prongs to be the same length as the diameter of the base.
Of the base.
And the base needs to be notched in those cardinal points to cradle the wire?
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
Perfect. And then we'll solder it.
And we have a video on soldering butt joints.
This is what the end result will look like.
Okay.
And you'll clean it up and then set your stone.
How do we clean it up?
You can actually tumble this. Make sure
Okay.
that, with your solder, you remove it with a file and then some abrasives and get it to a near close to the finish you like, and then pop it in the tumbler.
Okay, okay, that is great. I like the fact that you added this loop so that we could add a bail to make it like
Exactly.
a pendant. How would we manipulate this to be another type of product? I mean, like a piece of a bracelet, let's say.
Yeah, so a bracelet, maybe you would add another jump ring on the other side and do a series that would go around, which would be great. Or you could have no jump ring and you could use it as a setting for a ring.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
that idea.
and we have a sample that we'll show you too.
That's great, Jennifer. Thank you for showing us everything.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now, in part 2 of this video, Jennifer's going to show us how to set the stone into this setting. And if you want to know more about Jennifer and the workshops that she presents in her studio, log on to jenmonroestudios.com. If you want to see more videos like this one, you can check us out here on YouTube or on our website at onlinejewelryacademy.com. And you can become a subscriber by just hitting the little button in the lower right-hand corner. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget about fan funding. Thanks for watching.